Good afternoon. I hope you had a good lunch. So, we are going to talk about AI, which is a theme of this entire session and probably the theme of the entire planet as it seems right now. This topic, this particular session specifically focuses on extending the capability of the AIs that are already available out there in the market and integrating that to solve a unique business challenge. Now, every AI can do a piece of work, but what we are trying to demonstrate is putting them together to add an exponential business value with the encompassing it with the capabilities of the Appian platform. That's what we are going to talk about. So over here, I'm going to set the scene. I've been talking to CIOs and CEOs for the past 1 year promoting AI, and there's a common theme that I hear from everybody. I want to take a few minutes to talk about that. Then I'm going to introduce my colleague, Phil, who's going to cover the various capabilities that we want to demonstrate. Now, let me be very clear. Everything that you see today over here is available for you today to download from Appian community. So nothing is future-looking statement. Everything is current statement. You can use it right now. So every time I go to the stage, I ask this question. Why do we do digital innovation? Now, of course, you guys can talk back to me. So most of the people say that it improves efficiency. It allows me to access the data quicker. It makes performance. My take is everything is a byproduct of digital innovation. So ever since human put data into digital format, the intention is to extract that information in a meaningful way. And that is done by making the system understand the human intent. And 30 years ago, we used to call them as high code. I come from the days of 8080 processor, assembly. It's very old school. And then came Javas and .NETs of today's technology. We call them as high code. It's an umbrella statement. What is it trying to do? It is trying to make the digital system understand the human intent. For the past decade, we are using the term low code. What is low code? It is literally wrapping the high code in a manner of speaking. And today's generation, which is phase 3, is Gen AI. It's allowing the systems to understand the semantics of the human language and automatically convert it into the digital format to extract the information that the human is looking for. That's what is happening. So it's reducing the gap between the speed with which the system understands the human intent and return the data back. That's the bottom line of why we are doing digital innovation. Now, in the future, it's going to get reduced even further. So if you have been following news, there are news about Elon Musk brain chip that allows humans to interact with digital system through thought process. So it traps the brain signals and interprets it into digital actions. That is what it is trying to do. And everything we are talking about today, why am I talking about digital innovation? Everything we are talking about today focuses on how AI can enhance the way in which business can innovate in the digital world. Now, when I speak to the CIOs and CEOs, what's happening right now is CIOs are becoming part of the board. So the board is asking them, how much are you investing in AI this year? That is the first question they are being asked. So what they tend to do is they go back to their office. The first thing they do on Monday morning is, hey, I want to invest in an AI technology. What AI technology is out there? What is my colleague doing? What is my competition doing? They start falling into this concept of FOMO, fear of missing out, and then they're looking into a broad spectrum. So the American way of calling it is like shooting it from the hip, right? So they are literally scatter spreading, trying to find it. But out of our research, these are the 7 core principles that are essential when you consider digital transformation using AI as your co-pilot or as a way of enhancing your efficiency. Out of this, every component is essential, but I want to emphasize on the first 2. When you go and talk to your team or your customers or your partners, and when they want to embark on a digital journey, the first question I would like you guys to ask is, what is your business goal? When I ask the CIOs, they say, I don't know. You tell me what you want me to do. What are you seeing in the market? So I can give them recommendation, but the recommendation has no value unless they have point number 2, which is data, right? So my competition might have a data that I don't have, which means that their way of using AI cannot apply to me. So you need to make sure that the customer understands that. Without these 2 core concepts, any AI initiative today is nothing more than a science project. I've seen a lot of CIOs invest months, sometimes years, doing these projects, and then at the end of the year, they don't have anything tangible to talk about at all. If I want to put that into layer, I'm gonna diagrammatically represent. We use AI to improve the business outcome, like efficiency, operational efficiency, reducing risk, governance, all those kind of a thing. So AI is helping you, and in order for the AI to work better in providing decisioning support or Gen AI support, you need the right data. So we spoke about the data fabric in Appian that allows you to bring everything together. That's the layer. But there's a layer in between as well, which is, in order for that to happen, you need to empower the users as well. So the users need to be empowered by the right operating system, by the right, for example, lack of words, the workflows, the process, the screens, and everything that follows. Now, there's one thing missing in this diagram. The thing that is missing in this diagram, which is connecting the AI capability to the human, is process automation. Without that, you are going to end up in silos, doing operation on its own without leveraging the full power and full capabilities of the platform. You can read this diagram top to bottom or bottom to up. Now, if you're leaving this room, this is the only thing I want you guys to take away today. In order to improve your business outcome for your user using AI powered by the data, you need a strong process automation platform. If you have a good data, you can use AI to empower your users to make better decisions and outcomes using process automation as a glue in the middle, right? So this is what I want you guys to take away with. Remember, we keep emphasizing this. AI is not in the state right now to make decision, but it is a great candidate to provide the insight for the human to allow you to make the good decision and insights. Before I hand over to my colleague, when I did the Partner Academy, anybody here who was listening to the session from the Partner Academy at all? Okay, so I introduced the concept of action bot. What it is OpenAI allows you to get that information. So I can ask a question, it's going to give me a response back. But when I want to take an action, I still need to go into a different screen and then execute that particular step. This is taking us back to the old school of what we call a civil chair approach. I get some information here, even though faster, but then I still need to log on to a different system, take an action. Now, one of the stuff we are going to see today, which is called as an action bot, shows you how seamlessly we are able to connect your intent to take action on Appian directly. To talk about the real exciting stuff and show you the demo, I want to introduce you to Phil. Phil Kang is our principal solutions consultant with Appian. So he's leading the innovation session with Appian, who's going to talk about these actions. Phil, with that, it's all up to you.
Thank you, Satya. So first I'm talking about the Appian AI Knowledge Assistant. So unlike the traditional database keyword search, which rely on exact matches, a vector database enables semantic search. A vector database enables a semantic search by transforming a complex data into a numeric vectors. And that allowed the user for a fast and intuitive search and based on similarity rather than exact match. So what's the benefits? The benefits is significantly enhance your search experience for accuracy, fast, and scalability. Now let's connect for a real-world example. Suppose I am a legal or criminal justice institution, and I am interested to find or search the law related to a certain crimes. So in Appian, we can collect all documents and store in Appian the documents contain all the Virginia law codes. But in order for currently for us to search through it, it's manual, intensive, and it's tedious. Instead, with the AI knowledge assistant, we can organize the documents, store in a vector database, reside in an Appian platform, which is private and secure. So now, when you ask a question, you leverage the semantic search to return the information which is relevant. So this is a three-layer technology stack. The first, the UI component, which is your business users they feel comfortable with. It's a chatbot interface. In the middle, we store your documents in a vector database and expose it to a large language model. And the bottom is large language model job is two things. First, it's handled embedding your documents into the vector database. And the second, it's responsible for generating the answer for your question. So let's take a look at how we use it. So we already transformed a couple documents into a vector database already. So when you ask a question, we give you the flexibility to choose which document you want me to retrieve for my questions. You don't have to pick one, you can pick multiples. Now, when you ask a question, the data come back. Not only we give you the answer relevant for your question, but also we give you the data sources. Deep down to the page level where the data source is coming from. Make it very, very powerful. And I just want to highlight, every time we mention knowledge assistant, people always think about it's about your unstructured data, which the documents about. But you overlook the fact, you can also augment it by your structured data. Your structured data is located in Appian records, which are powered by the data fabrics. Now we will look at a real example. Before I run the demo, let me set a stage. What are we looking at right now is an insurance underwriting submission page, right? So for the underwriting team, their daily job is say, should I accept or reject this submission? And I have my rules. The policy is contained in a single PDF file, and I store that file in the vector database. But in their policy, it's looking for two attributes. The total insurable value, which is $1.5 million, and the green pie chart in the middle about the submission score. Using those two values, I can decide should I accept or reject. Now let's take a look how we're using the AI knowledge assistant without any human involved do the job for me automatically. So simply, I just ask, should I accept or reject this submission and pick the documents for my business rules and send it to the large language model. What it does, it combines your vector database as well as those attributes located from your Appian records. Put it together, send it to a large language model, and large language model, and it decides based on the value of those two attributes, and also look at the policy, I decide for you, you should accept it. Make it very, very powerful. Now I also want to highlight, in the bottom right, you'll see there's a total of fraud AI prediction that is powered by Amazon SageMaker. So what it does, it's a real-time AI prediction engine, machine learning model. So for enterprise today, over the years, everybody accumulate millions of your transaction data, right? So enterprise today asking, can we make this a model out of it? Yes, you could, powered by the SageMaker. I will talk about more about SageMaker later in the presentation. So we just talk about the capability of the AI knowledge assistants. And you're probably wondering, what's next? How can I move from the data, business insights, to action? Now, let's introduce you to the next step in our journey, which is action bot. We name it action bot is for a reason, for emphasize, is for the action you can kick off an Appian process, either record action or record related action, seamlessly inside a chatbot interface. So let's see a demo first, and then we come back, tell you how we did it. So just pay attention on the top right, the chatbot. Here we go. So first I say, create a new submission. Come back with a button, you click it. That's for create a new submission data entry form. So next one says, I want to update a submission number. That's a related record action. Here we go. Now, I want to do something different. I say, please summarize a particular submission for me. So that just do a very specific summarization task for a large language model. And the last, I will say, what is my latest 3 new submissions? Simple questions. You ask a large language model to query your entire record type of submission and give you back the answer of your 3 newest submissions. So we handled 4 scenarios: record action, record related action, a summarization, and just general questions, right? So those 3 scenarios, your action bot is able to handle.
Phil,
Now,
can I just summarize that one?
Yes.
So earlier I told you Appian connects people, process, and data, right? So you got the data, you got the people, you are having processes that are defined by you, not by anybody else, by you. So on that one single screen, you saw that document summarization. So we are using vector database, you're using SageMaker AI for machine learning prediction, all of them composed into one. Of course, we have integration to each and every one of them, but the sum of the parts is stronger than the individuals itself. So when you put them together, it gives you a stronger, compelling value message that you can take, and then you're putting the wrapper of Appian that allows you to drive and deliver that journey. So that is the biggest value over here, not the individual integration, which is readily available out of the box, but combining them to add something new that is not easy, but that allows you to bring flexibility. When you were talking about the legal one, I was remembering Mike Ross from the Suits. So he remembers 500-page documents. That's the first thing that was coming. This is like the Mike Ross of Appian's document classification platform. The second thing is the action bot. Now, I don't know if you were able to digest the power over there. I'm on a single screen, one single thing. This is the Google of business, where from that one single window, I'm able to ask questions that I need answer for. So I can say, tell me the top task for today. Tell me what is my highest priority. Tell me why this particular customer is calling me. These are all going to be driven by the data that I already have, and it's going to respond back. Once I know this is my critical task, the next question is, open the task for me. So instead of me switching screens, selecting the task, opening it up, I can do that right over there. A customer is on a phone call with me. They are upset that they have not received their order. So I can actually say, update that order, expedite that shipment, and it can instantly recognize the context, open the customer record, and perform the necessary action. Did you see? It was pre-populating the data for me. Out of semantics, I'm just telling them, update John blog. So it knows who that context is, brings that corresponding information, and brings it out. This is the most powerful capability of pulling OpenAI's collaboration capability or GenAI capability and combining it with Appian's process and workflow execution capability. These are the workflows that you build using Appian as a platform. So we are connecting them seamlessly. I wanted to take a minute to emphasize the importance of what this is. So this is available for you guys to go download and play around right now. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Sure. Now let's talk about how we did it, right? So one of our team member, the youngest team member named Abju, and he came up with creative idea of the framework for action bot. So in a high level, he makes so easy, just 2 steps for anyone try to deploy it, right? So first step, you already know what action you want to kick off, right? Either by related action or record action. So just a prompt record type, just add your action there. 2 attributes. First is the name of the actions. Let's say create a case. Let's say update a case. And then the second column is the matching action number. So for example, create a case number 1, update case number 2, right? So what we did is when you ask a question, say, create a case, you basically ask ChatGPT, a large language model says, please query my prompt record type and return a matching action number for me. So that's all it does. Now, in the framework, we did the heavy lifting of all the code for you. So you don't need to write any code for that. All you need to do is, for example, go to the matching number, action numbers, because you already know what exactly matching to your own actions. You just use A being record action and put your own action there. So that will take care of the record action and the record related action. And anytime when it's find a keyword of summarize, it's basically just say send that one to a ChatGPT for auto completion for summarize task very specifically. Nothing you need to do there. And the last one is if nothing of anything matching the above, I assume you simply just want to ask a question. I basically send a question packaged together with a prompt, send it to a large language model. That's as simple as it is. Now, we just covered the innovation of AI assistant and the action bot. And we also recognize the challenge a lot of enterprise facing today is we have this huge amount of data. How can we mine it? And how can we better utilize it? Is there any way for us to make a machine learning model out of that transactional data? Right? The answer is yes. But how do I know? Is that data even relevant? The model I built it, is that good or not? I could not know. So the only way is try it out. So the tool we just released is called Tabular Prediction, powered by SageMaker Reference App. Is just for the answer for give you a tool, enabler, accelerator to turn your data quickly into a machine learning model. Try it, test it out. So here it is. The tool is do the heavy lifting to simplify the complex world of machine learning model. It allowed a business user without data science background able to create a machine learning model, handle the creation, training, tuning, and deploying the model all by him or herself. It comes with 6 use cases across 6 different industries. So for example, how we use it, the GIF image shows that give a different data set, click a button, instantaneously it provides the results back. So for this one is the new loan applicant is going to default or not? If you are not going to default, I automatically want to show you the products recommend on the spot for you, try to sell you the products. If otherwise, a different data set do the prediction real time and tell me you're going to default loan, I'm not going to bother to show the product to sell you. So this is the power of the AI model in practical usage to aid a business user to make a decision because we give the insights. And here's the reference app come with 6 use cases across those 6 industries, such as financial institution, the one we just saw, the banking loan application. The middle one, the insurance, is predict the medical expense for a patient. So for insurance, want to charge you for premium, they need to know, forecast what will be the medical expense for this applicant. The last one, supply chain. What's the likelihood, what kind of type of machine breakdown going to be? Marketing, are you likely to be churned on the marketing campaign or not? The Pharmaceutical healthcare, that's one, what's the likelihood that patient will be a diabetes patient or not? And last one, service industry. What kind of type of, when you bring your vehicle to the shop, what kind of service package should I recommend based on your history, based on your last time your vehicle had been maintained, all those data attributes. So what we just learned, Satya just covered the overview from his experience when he talked to his CIOs and CEOs. And we just covered the direct approach, retrieve, augment, retrieve from the document, vec database, augment with data fabric, structured data, and our action bot, right? Seamlessly kick off an Appian action inside a chatbot interface, and a prediction AI powered by SageMaker. Just, I think, wrap up in one sentence, what we just showed you today is very well capture what Matt Calkins said in yesterday's keynote. You ask a question, we will find the data for you. As simple as that. So here is the list of the sources of the link with the end market, the plugins you can free download. And for call action, our SVP of product strategy, Malcolm Loss, did a on-demand webinar. That webinar is highly recommended for you to watch it, about 48 minutes long. Talk about the AI economy, what's the key trends, what's the AI risks, and how you maximize the growth. So take a picture of the QR code. And if you want to connect with us, here is our contact email. And you want to follow me on the LinkedIn, here's my LinkedIn profile as well. Now we are ready for questions.
Can I just take a second?
Yeah.
I want to emphasize the tabular prediction that Phil talked about. For me, that's been like a nirvana. That's been a utopia. Why I'm saying this? It's always a challenge for business to be able to work in close hand in hand with IT to define these large language models. And it's always been a challenge for all the companies to be hiring the Python or R developers and data scientists, even before they know what their entire AI strategy is. This allows them to take their first step into the world of AI, which means that we are empowering business users. If you notice, everything you saw so far is all driven by the business user. So the business user logs in, they upload a CV of their own data, they are able to automatically send it for training, tuning, performance, and then they are able to query that information back. Now, the 6 examples that Phil talked about are examples that are available for you, but that's not the exhaustive list. You tell me what business you're running. So if you're running financial services crime detection, you give us the data set. With the data set, we are able to tune, predict, and execute. Right? If you are looking into first notice of loss, what kind of a percentage of fraudulent transactions there are, which you saw in the demo, we can do that. So you are empowered to control that entire end-to-end AI journey without the need for you to depend on the IT or a data scientist or something like that. Now, again, this is not the be-all and end-all. So you start with this, embark on this journey, you play around with it, you experiment it, you identify whether it's a good or not, you fail fast. If it is not the right one, discard. Literally minimal time lost. And then if it is really good, then you can embark on the further journey to discover, can I make it more stronger? Do I now need a data scientist to bring terabytes of data from various sources in order to do that? The choice is totally up to you. But this empowers, this is something I've been wanting to build for over 5 years. Ever since the world of AutoML came up on Google and Amazon Auto Machine Learning, which allowed business to upload the CSV or data, we wanted to bring that capability for the business users. All you need to worry about is just get me the data file. It's a CSV or a database, I don't care. Let us do the entire job for you. It's ready for you to start querying and integrating with that. Now, imagining connecting that capability to the case management framework that you've been hearing throughout the day. That literally puts AI and case management on steroids, right? So you're empowering your own case management framework powered by the AI with your own data, giving you deep insight into the platform. So I just wanted to emphasize the importance, because when I speak to people, these are the kind of things they're trying to do, but you have it already with you today. So with that said, thank you very much for your time. We're open if you have any questions. Thank you, Phil, for your time as well. What questions do we have from the audience? Can we get a mic over here, please?
Yeah, that's a gentleman there.
No, so. Try again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the action bot, so, as you mentioned that we would find the links or on the action bot if we wanted to see a specific action in which document or a thing it happened. So when it gives you the link, it has to be all external to that Appian application, or it also goes outside of Appian and looked at the knowledge source?
So it's broken into two categories, right? Is it okay if I take that?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's broken into two categories. It uses your knowledge base for responding textual response back. But the second you want to touch upon the Appian's process that you have defined, whether it's an update a record or insert some new data, then it needs to know which action it is. So when you build a process in Appian, it has a number. That was the number he was highlighting, number 3 or 2 or 4. So you need to tell the system, if he's asking to update a customer record, that customer record's action for update customer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how it knows the association. And then it pops a button instead of giving you a text response back. Then the button directly opens up that action for you inline. So that's how it has been mapped. So we all in this was, if you're developing an Appian, you can create a report that says these are the process numbers. So you can literally take that and map the two together. There's a question over there.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. So one question I had about the, like the first part you were showing the
Knowledge assistant.
yeah, so you had like the embedded database, and
Yeah.
then underneath that you had like the models that were trained. So are you able to say what model was used to create the embedded database, and do you have accuracy metrics on it?
So the model we're using out of the box is OpenAI 88002 model for embedding. That's specific purpose for embedding. But if you have your own embedding large language model, yeah, be our guest. Because it's a simple API call. You provide your own credential, your own API account. Yeah, it's very easy to replace that.
There's one more question.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sure, give me a second. We'll come back to you in a second. Okay, let's see who gets first. Speak? No.
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 It's gonna be who hit turns on first. Go on.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Hello, I can hear you.
Question. What's the life cycle for the data? Like, if we as a company would import the data, what happens after that? Is it like for data that contains like real private information? Is it with Appian? Is it with us? Do we control when it's no longer needed?
When you
Or
say
does it stay in
data,
the system?
which context are you talking about? In which context are we talking about? So let me make it. Let me summarize. Everything that you're talking about, we are storing the data within the confinement of AI.
Okay.
Unless or until you're using a vector database, which is the Pinecone AI example we showed.
Okay.
But even with Pinecone, you can take your own private shard, which means that, hey, this is my private space, don't share it with anybody else.
Okay.
Which means that when you load the data, so you control everything. You control everything. It is, and even if you are asking OpenAI, we are sending the prompt that is used as a context in order to create the response back. So you control everything. The day you say I don't want it, you clear the data or you add more data. That's totally under your control.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. So follow-up question was to use like ADA2 if you want to fine-tune it or something. I think you need the access token. So if we wanted to use it through Appian, is there like a token that we'd need to purchase or something?
So for the I think you're using the knowledge assistant. You have to supply your own API key.
That's for the, is that the task bot, the action bot, I mean?
No, that's the knowledge assistant.
Okay. But for the action bot, it's just purely through Appian. You don't need a separate token.
Action bot because it's a plugin, right? So plugin is using the basically it's an API key.
Okay.
You supply your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
when you download and install the action bot, you get a connected system in Appian, which is the integration. The connected system will ask you for an API key. So you provide your OpenAI API key over there. You control what it does totally from there on. Okay, so you give it an endpoint and then it uses that to do that. Fingers crossed, in coming days, we are slowly migrating everything from external tools to our own AI. So we internally use Bedrock. You heard it multiple times during the past 2 days. So eventually, all these things will come within the Appian confinement as well. So we always take a two-prong approach. Whatever is readily available, we try to consume it. And then as a second phase, we try to embed it within the platform itself. So right now, we are in that two-prong approach. So hopefully in the future, but right now, you provide your OpenAI key.
Okay. Thank you.
No issues. We got time for one more question. What other questions do you have? All right. In that case, Phil is available anytime. We are going to be in the booth, so feel free to come and talk to him. Thank you so very much for your time, and I hope you have an opportunity to play with this API something. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.